Hi guys, how we doing? It's a cold one today, so down on the plot, got a few jobs to do. We'll sort the chickens out. Got a final beam frame to take down that I haven't managed to because of the weather, and a few other little bits and bats on the plot. Have a quick look over at the bees. Put some new feed on them the other day, so I want to see how they're doing, see if they're taking that in. They've taken a lot of the other one, but I won't use it again. It's quite solid, so when it gets cold it seems to go quite hard. I don't know how well they can take that, how well they can eat it. So I won't be using that again. I've got a pack left over. We'll see how we go towards summer to see if that can be used. Say summer, I mean spring, on the build up when it gets a bit warmer. Hi guys, before I crack on, bit I want to share with you. So this year been a bit off and on with the allotment. I've been down here all the time, but the videos wise sometimes I might have been a bit subdued, but it's been a hell of a year really. So went to the doctors in February, something and nothing, a couple of questions, blood tests later, and I'm on the road to prostate cancer diagnosis. And because my bloods didn't match up with what we were finding clinically with my prostate, they started scanning me for bone cancer, spine cancer, and osteoporosis and all sorts. So it's a rough year really, and in all of that there was a time when I thought, well, that's it, curtains for me, because if it had been one of the more serious ends of this bone cancer and spine cancer, you know, there's no real fixing that, I don't think. You know, you get a limited time for the rest of your time, but happy days, I'd have lived out what I had. But what that did was then kicked off my PTSD, because I have severe PTSD from all the jobs and the things that I went to, and earthquakes and all sorts of stuff while I was in the service. And I lived with it for a long time, you know, and it wasn't bad, but then this just kicked it off again. So yeah, down here really saved me mental health. You know, this place, without a shadow of a doubt, kept me going. Just takes your mind off it, done it, being down here, being in the open out air and space and stuff like that, doing your jobs and focusing on things. You forget stuff, don't you, really? Had my 1940s music playing, and the world was good. But now just seeing a counsellor just to put this PTSD stuff back under where it should be, and that'll be for a good few months, I think. But yeah, just if you're ever out there, guys, you need a chat, you know, don't hold it inside, because that's what I did, internalised it all, and it's not good for you really. So if you want to chat or anything like that, there's stick us a comment, and we'll have a bish and bash back towards each other with a few messages. But there is help out there if you need it, you know, and don't be too proud to stand up and say I do need it, because we all need it at some point in our life, don't we? But yeah, thought I'd share that with you guys, just so you sort of like get a bit of understanding. And Instagram, YouTube and all that kind of thing, it's not all rosy, is it? People have life stories, don't they, behind it. And you know, I did say at one video at the start I will share some stuff with you at some point. I'm just feeling that now is the time, because another blood test in a few weeks, and if that's okay and on its way down, I'm just going to be on the monitoring list for 5 years. My prostate cancer is a tiny little bit, 1 out of 24 biopsies, and it's the slowest growing, best type you can get, if you can get a best type of prostate cancer really. But they still don't fully understand why my blood numbers are so high, but it's just something we'll just have to deal with, innit, and see what happens over time. Hopefully they'll come down to something more normal, but yeah, I've flummoxed them. Right guys, let's get some jobs done. I bought this recently. It's just an outdoor box, because I was in and out of one of the polytunnels where I stored everything. It's just loads better because it's all here. I'm not up and down the plot in the winter. It's all in containers, so everything in different containers, so they're animal proof. And it's just so close to the chicken run, it's makes life a lot easier. Make sure I've got everything. So these are just the treats. So they have black fly larvae, because mealworms apparently you're not supposed to give them really, because they're imported a lot from China and places and they can carry diseases. So I've read. And they have sunflower hearts, which I absolutely love, and this is just a chicken treat that we buy from a place called Flights of Fancy. It's nice, got a little bits of shrimp in it, little bits of oyster, carrot and all other things. It's quite high and rich so in fats and things, so don't give them too much of that, because otherwise they'll just eat this and not the chicken food, and they need the layer pellets and everything else to make sure that they form the egg properly. So a bit sparingly with this kind of stuff, but these and this, they're fine. Right, let's go and give these some of this. So this is my little area outside the run. Like I say, because of the restrictions being a little bit more relaxed, if you've only got a few chickens and you're not giving or selling the eggs away, this is where I will let them out, just to give them a bit of a leg stretch while I'm on here. They want to go out there and dig in the beds, so 5 minutes out there, make sure there's no other birds about, make sure there's no bird poo before I let them out. I know I would let them out there just to get some natural food, you know, because they do like worms and snails and slugs and things like that, and digging about and scratching, but not for too long. Right, let's give them these. You know, girls, you're having a right sunbathe there, missus. Let's see if they want some of this. Do you want some, girls? Want some of this? You want some, Maggle? You want some? No? Do you want some? Come on, Mum. Come on, Bab. No, bit there for you. Come on, this. Yes, I know. They love sweet corn, so cut some fresh sweet corn up for them. Usually give them half a sweet corn every day and just leave it in there for them to peck at and keep them interested, because they do need enrichment and things to do. Yes, I know. What? You waiting for some of this? Come on then. There you go. I'm glad to see that hair grow back, won't we, missus? Really quite good, the wood chip they put down as well in here, because if you just get a handful of this treat feed and you just scatter it into the wood chip, and they'll dig round for it, and keeps them entertained again. Yes, are you happy? What are you doing? What are you doing, Fleur? What are you doing? Having a sunbathe? Good girl. Enjoying the sun today. A couple of them sunbathing, they're having a dust bath. It's the first dry day we've had for a while, so they're just really enjoying their little lives. Where's your mate? Sunbathing. Right, so let me show you this. One of the barbers is sunbathing. this is what they do when they want to catch some sun. They lay on the side and expose as much of the body as they can to the sunlight. It's funny, they love it. And then she'll stretch her wings out as well sometimes. Funny little creatures. Right, so just give them a quick clean out, and one of them's laid an egg. They slow down this time of year because they know they don't want to be hatching babies really and looking after them through the winter. So the egg production will slow right down. Got a new egg holder coming, which is designed for bantams. So if that comes and I remember on, I'll show you that. It's lovely oak, and it holds I think 18 eggs. I've had it engraved on the side. I'll show you when it comes. Right, let's crack on. Let's put some food in here, make sure the water's okay, and I'll show you Fleur, who's molting at the minute. You come in, you let me show you. Come here. This is Fleur. Hello. So she's losing quite a lot of feathers on her head and round her neck here, but you can see the little pins, the white bits. So they're the new feathers coming back through. They don't like you touching them because I believe they're quite sore if you press against them. She's losing some feathers around here as well. But it's all normal. Come on, girl. They just look a bit raggy when they lose the feathers. They look funny. Looks all scraggly. Right, sort the food out, make sure the water's okay, and then I'll crack on and do them other jobs. So one of the jobs that I've got to do soon, which is the rain's just been putting it off, because whenever I go to get the stuff, the bark chippings outside just dripping wet through with rain. I'm not putting them in my car at the minute. I don't need to do it that desperately. So what I want to do is the bit outside the chicken run where we go in and down to where we keep the food and everything, I'm going to box that off and bark it so that it's nice and covered up for us to walk on, and we're not treading and compacting the ground down into a bloody muddy mess, which it's certainly on its way to at the moment. Exactly where I'm going to do it, that's the issue, because I've changed my mind every five minutes on it. I'll just show you now quickly. So what I'm looking at, where you can see that bit of wood, that's probably the extent of it, and that leads past the coal frame, which will be great in summer to be used with the bark in front of it. Plus it'll cut it down for me to mow down the back of the polytunnel here, and then up to the box where I keep all the chicken food and cleaning stuff, and the beehive compost has moved again, so that's there with the incinerator, and then probably up to the extent of the end of the polytunnel. But this is where I don't really know, because if I do it here and cut it off across that bit, so all that round there up to the end of the polytunnel and the end of the grey box is bark chipped, that then means I've got to cut this bit down into there with the mower from up here. Whereas if I cordon off from the end of the extended chicken fence down, I then don't have to mow any of that. But because I've got to pay for chip bark here, that costs a lot of money. Mower wise, when I go between the two plots, there's a gap behind the chicken run, and I can just mow from that plot straight down behind the chicken run, and I'm onto that plot to mow. Now, I think the thing is getting it right, and it's just going to be expensive, that's all. But I think I'd rather have it right and maybe chip away at the bark, because I can put weed mat down. I've got the weed mat, and that'll stop it getting muddy when you're walking on it, and then just chip away at buying chip bark, a few bags here and there. I mean, I can't work out, that polytunnel took, I think it was 3 bags, which is 30 quid. So if I look at that, you probably 9 bags. So it's £100 odd on chip bark, which is not massive, but it's it's like a bean frame, isn't it, for next year. So I'll give it some more thought. I'm definitely going to have to start getting onto it. But again, it's after today, it's raining for another week. 3 days of solid Welsh sideways rain, and then interspersed by a little bit of dry weather. And on that dry weather, I need to get into the bees and get the treatment out, because they've got some Varroa treatment in there that needs to come out after 10 weeks, and it's 10 weeks next week. So as soon as I get the first warm-ish dry day, I need to whip the lid off quick, get it out and get it back in. Because the problem is this weather, if I open that hive up now, any bees that are exposed to this, it'll just kill them. It's far too cold for them to be opening that hive. And then what you do is you reduce the temperature in the hive, and they've got to get it right back up again. So it's a bit of a gamble, really. But I know where they are. They're in the very top. I can quite easily just lift the lid up, whip them out, and get them out. But what happens in this weather, as soon as I crack that lid, they're going to be going for me, because they're not going to be happy bees. So, yeah, just another one on the beekeeper's list. Right, let's get this frame down, eh, guys? Be careful when you've got chickens. There's anything like this, you don't want that going onto your soil, because potentially could eat it. And that's probably a little bit big, but you just get confused and think they're worms and start pecking away at them. Before you know it, it's down and you've got a vet's bill to deal with. So always be careful. Yeah, that's that down for another season. What I do now is I'll zip tie these together. We'll go down behind the bolly tunnel, and then that's a whole package ready for next year. What I may do next time though is these, I bought them and they were a little bit short, so I might use them in the construction of that pathway, and then buy some tall ones next year. These are Dahlia stakes, getting from B&M. It's a company in the UK, if you are watching this from abroad. It's just like a little multi-sales shop that sells all sorts of things. They sell gardening stuff. And get some 6 foot ones, because then they'll come further up the post. I must have just had these left over from a job I was doing, and I've used them this season. So, right, let's get this away and crack on with some other stuff. Just buy these great big heavy duty zip ties, things like this. There you go, ready for next season now. I did think better of it, and I put a plaster on my finger because I'm messing around in the muck and that, aren't I? So better off being safe than sorry. Right, let's get the hoe out and hoe all them weeds into that bed so that they just die off then. Get my favourite hoe out. Really sunny today. fairly sunny. I left the end of the runner beans in, the roots, they can rot down then, and refeed the soil. Man. Let's get this net away. Even though this is plastic netting, and I don't really like plastics and one thing and another, but that'll last me 10 years at least, I would have thought. So rather than keep reusing cheap stuff, which would degrade quite quickly, this will be reused time and time and time again over many a year, because I'll always use those bean frames one way or the other for whatever I use them for. Even though I'm discussing buying a big one for next year, these will get used every year. Right, let's get this away and then quickly show you the bees around the plot. Right guys, where are we up to? Quick plot tour. Quickly show you around. Okie dokie. Right, so as you'd imagine, most of the crops are gone now, but there is still some stuff that's growing, so I'll show you now. So got some kale in there, Cavallonero, some Swiss chard, that's still going okay. Again, more Swiss chard, and the beetroot, that's still covered up because the birds will just eat all that, them beetroot leaves, and I want them doing that because they're for my chickens. These are Korean radish, they're really good, and they've got some sprouts and a, what's it called that now? Tree cabbage, Australian tree cabbage, that's the fella. But apparently that just crack on all the way through winter and you just eat that away. It's really quite nice. Camera bag, that's not grown, that's bought. And then some carrots are in there, and some more Swiss chard for the chickens. My horseradish is now dead. I'm going to pull some of that ready for Christmas and make myself some horseradish sauce. And this is the ochre. So what happens is you wait for the hard frost and that kills it off, so you can see there it's just died over the last day or so, and then once that happens they start forming tubers underneath, which are the little small lemony flavoured potatoes, for want of a better word, and they're quite small, they're only about yay big, but it's supposed to be really nice. Treat them like a potato and it tastes really good. Cold frame, giving that a bit of an air. In this bed I've got my leeks, they're coming away, some really quite good ones, and they were succession planted, so once these big ones are ready I'll then go on to second and third row, which are planted at different times, a few weeks apart, so they should have a good load of leeks ready for the winter. And then this is called mustard greens. I've I planted that to eat in my Chineses and stir fries and things like that. Well, the chickens had other ideas, so they've just devastated that, and I just feed it to them now. So every day when I come down, I always take fresh greens for them and put it into a feeder, and then they're the empty beds. These tree onions not worked really well this year. They're supposed to go to about a foot high when they go to seed and form onions on the top, but they just haven't worked. So whether I've done something wrong, they were really dry at one part of the season, so whether that's had something to do with it, I don't know. I'm just going to leave them and see what happens. No big deal if they don't do anything. Know about the chickens, right? Have a quick look at these bees. That's a herb bed, that's done great. Should trim those backs shortly, but a few more pickings on there yet. And the flower beds are off to bed for the winter. Got one more of these to go up, which we're not 100% sure where it's going to go. We think we're going to put it up there as a square, so this is then sort of like a box off yoga area, and when we get the flowers in next year, they're really quite high. I love this time of year. My favourite time of year. That's the potatoes. There's still potatoes in there, so I've got 2.5 rows of potatoes to pick. I had some of those the other day. They're really nice. Tried to do them in chips in the air fryer, but it didn't really work. Squashes have died now without frost, so they need digging out. It's another task for me. And then I chopped back the asparagus the other day, and that needs a bit of a fettle with the weeds, and get that bed mulched. Right, let's go and have a look at these bees. I've ordered another hive for next year, so they'll either go in there, or I've got another site which is a few miles away, which I've agreed with a guy there now, tentatively at the minute. As you can see, the bees aren't interested. Let's clear these few dead ones. So a little bit more discussions to have with him. I bought the bees on order, ready for April next year, and it's overwintered nuke, so they'll build up a lot quicker than a nuke that you buy later in the year. Make sure that doesn't go over the front of the hive. And that's the fondant that they're now eating. So in the middle there, cut a hole so they can get down into that. You'll see that. That's the hole into the hive there. And then they'll eat that now. It's nice and soft and supple, that stuff. The other stuff went really hard, and not overly impressed with it. I won't be buying it again. And then that'll last them a good few weeks. Just keep an eye on it, make sure they've got enough food to get them through winter, and then they'll start building up in springtime once they can start flying again. People always ask, why do you take the honey? I'll just explain that in a second. And there's loads of schools of thought. In the past I've left honey on hives and let them use that over winter, but there are other ways of dealing with it where they're okay, you benefit from the crop that they've given you. And I suppose it's like any farmer, innit? You're going to try and maximise what you can. Not like I'm a farmer, but it's a similar sort of principle. So what you do is you take the honey off, and if you're going to take it all, you need to feed them. But the way they store honey is they store it in their brood box around the brood, and if you've got a double box, they'll have 2 lots of it around the brood. Generally that's for feeding the brood, and then they store excess up above it. Now anything that they store up above that is normally excess. for them to keep as a bit of an emergency thing to get through winter with, and one thing and another. So what you can do is you take that, and then to make sure they've got enough, you feed them syrup. Some people make it out of sugar, but I don't like that. So what I do is I buy a specialist syrup, and that's as close to honey and nectar as you get. So what they then do, sort of like September time up to the end of October, because it starts getting a bit too cold then. Sorry about the noise, I'm just putting the clips away, double jobbing. They take that down into the hive, into the brood box, because you've taken all the honey off by this time, and they start storing that, and they dehydrate it and they keep it, and then that's what they'll live on winter with. What you then do is to double make sure is you put the fondant on, and the fondant is basically the same thing. Again, people make it, people just buy baker's fondant, and it's basically just sugar and water. But the ones that you buy have stuff in it, usually thymol, and that stops it rotting and going off and going mouldy. Whereas if you just use your own syrup that you've made with sugar, it can go mouldy, and you don't want that in your beehive. Oh, sorry about the sun. Just getting sort of, again, double jobbing, just putting everything away while I'm talking to you. Can't multitask. Yeah, so what they'll then do is, instead of eating the honey and the syrup that they've stored, delete that, because you can just eat that directly, no processing for them. You can just take it out and eat it directly, feed it to the queen, keep her happy. But bear in mind, this time of year, they're all in a ball round the queen, keeping the queen warm and clustering up. And as it gets colder and colder, the bees will die off, and they'll cluster in a smaller cluster around the queen, keeping her safe. And then when the weather warms up next year, March time, February, the queen will start laying again, and the bees will start building up. And then as soon as the first nectar flow goes, boom, they'll start filling the hive up again. That's when you start putting seepers on. And then this year should be a bigger crop. I would have got 40 jars out of that hive if I hadn't have left it settling the capping tank too long. Got dead gnat in it, so I lost 4 jars of honey, which is not ideal, but these things happen, don't they? Yeah, so that's the feeding. I did do a little video about it when I was doing it. So the other site, I've looked at a few sites recently. There's one that's about 2 miles that way, which is great, brilliant site, but again, they're close to these bees, one thing and another, and it'd be similar sort of foraging. Not that matter. I could have 10 hives on this site. It wouldn't, it wouldn't matter the amount of honey or anything else that you collect, but it just changes the flavour. So there's a site that's about 6 miles away over there, and it's in the middle of a beautiful wooded area. There's orchards and everything on site. That would be amazing honey, but not 100% sure about the site and the access, and that is a big thing when you're beekeeping. You just want to be able to pull up, get out your car, do your bit, get in your car and go. You don't want to be walking across half a field carrying stuff and forgetting stuff and then going back and one thing and another. You need somewhere to store stuff on site, and so we'll see. The landowner there was a little bit wishy-washy about what they're expecting rent-wise, because normally what you do is you give them 10 jars of honey out of your hive, because you can't guarantee what that hive will make, so you don't say I'll give you 20 jars out of it, because you might not make 20 jars one season. And it's just like, we'll see, and I'm like, I don't want to get into the season and then having debates about it, and it's like, oh well, you can keep the brambles down maybe, and I'm like, it's just too wishy-washy for me. I like to know where I stand when I start keeping bees somewhere. I think I'm done here now today, guys. I'm going to come back later to keep the girls a bit of company and give them a bit of run out and a bit of entertainment, because you don't want them getting bored. bought them a new perch the other day, which they like. That's under the coop, so they can stand on that and get off the ground, because they love standing on the dust bath. But I thought, well, if I'd give them that, there's something else for them to stand on and walk around on. And then I'm off shopping, and I'm off to look at a motorbike. Yeah, went to the motorbike show beginning of the week in Birmingham with a friend, and seen a motorbike that's spanky, really good, and unbelievably, living down here, there's a dealer 15 mile away, which is normally doesn't happen. So off there to have a look at that today. Right guys, that's it for me, done. Chicken's done, frame down, bees checked, a couple of little jobs on the plot that needed doing. I need to put these back in the plot to polytunnel, because otherwise I'll be going on with them. Just noticed that those sunflowers are dead, they need coming out. There's a couple of lists of jobs that I know stuff need doing, so I'll be cracking on with them over the next few weeks, but just need a dry spell. I don't know what it's been like for you, but here it's been relentless rain, day after day after day, you know, like 25 mil, 35 mil. It's just, you're coming down, doing what you need to do and going, which is the chickens mainly. So hopefully, fingers crossed for a few dry days. There's a couple next week, but they're not pressing jobs, you know. But what I want to do is spend a bit of time down here over a couple of days, build some frames, and get them ready for covering the crops next year, the brassica bed and things like that, which I've not done, and it's on my list. I need to build the water capture stuff for the water butts, that needs doing. But again, you don't want to be walking around too much on the grass and killing everything and making it into a muddy quagmire, and it's not fun being here in the drizzle and rain, is it? But I will do, because I've now got my new Allotment coat. This is it's a Better Craft coat. It's from a local farm shop, and it's what the farmers use and buy. It's waterproof. It's got this, I don't know, 300 pill fleece on it, something, so the rain runs off it, and it's probably one of the best bits of kit I've bought for down here. Got some boots out of there as well. Who are those? I can't remember what they're called. Percol boots. Nearly headbutted the camera. Percol boots, and they've been fantastic. You walk around here through the mud on the paths and that, and nothing sticks to the sole. It just runs off the leather. Really impressive. They're like 60 quid. The amount of boots I've looked at, they're 150, 200 quid. And I found these in a farm shop. So if I remember, I'll put the links to both these bits of kit on there. Well, you're having a good one, guys. Life's good. Sun's out. It's cold, which I love. Dry, cold days. You can just layer up, get home, get the log burner on, and have a fantastic time. I'm off to Tesco's. One of the jobs you've got to do, innit? As an adult. It's not the best, is it, adulting? Sometimes it's a bit hard work. It'd be nice just to have the magic opening cupboards like you did when you were a kid and there's food in it. Look at this motorbike. I'll be getting one, it's just when, really. Probably in the new year. And then we'll have some motorbike adventures as well, back on the bike. We'll get over to Ireland, thinking of going to France, possibly going to the Isle of Man to either do the TT or Northwest 200 or the 100. Yeah, so a few of them videos coming up. Just need to get me motorbike lid and my camera out, and get all that set up again. Right guys, I'm going. I've waffled on too long as an outro, so hope you're having a brilliant one. I'll catch you later, guys. Catch you soon. Bye for now.